So for 15 years, you were fired up to go to work.
Yeah, I remember I was at the agency 8 months, and it's August 2nd, 1990. The Iraqis have just invaded Kuwait 4 hours earlier. I get to the office early, and my boss says, "Don't take your jacket off. We're going to go to the White House." I said, "Cool. I've never been to the White House." I mean, as a tourist I had, but I'd never been there like for business. We get in the car. It's about 7 in the morning, drive to the White House. This Marine is there at the door, the West Wing. He escorts us in straight into the Oval Office. There's the president, the vice president, the national security advisor, the CIA director, and then my boss and me. The president says, "Gentlemen, please sit." So we all sit. President and vice president are in these really comfortable, like wingback chairs. The national security advisor and the CIA director are in these like less comfortable looking, like dining room chairs. And my boss and I are on the couch. So we're sitting there and I'm looking around. And I remember saying to myself, my friends would never believe me if I told them where I was right now. Never believe me. So the president says, "Well, now what do we do?" And then everybody turns and looks at me. And it took me a second. And I said, Mr. President, as you know, Iraqi troops, I have chills right now thinking of it, just remembering it. I said, Iraqi troops crossed the Kuwaiti border at 2 o'clock in the morning. They seized the entirety of Kuwait. The royal family has fled to Saudi Arabia, blah, 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 blah. And he says, "Do we know who is in charge in Kuwait right now?" I said, "Yes, sir, we do. The Iraqis made an announcement that Dr. Ahmed Khatib is now the occupation governor of Iraq. Do we know anything about him?" I said, "Yes, sir." I had actually written an article about him a month earlier just because he was interesting to me. I said, "Yes, sir. He's a medical doctor. He hates the royal family because his mother was a slave in the household of the royal family. They had slavery until 1955 on the Arabian Peninsula. So I said, she was a Sudanese slave. To sort of make up for it, once slavery ended, they sent Ahmed to the American University of Beirut. He trained there as a doctor, but his college roommate was Georges Habash, and together they founded the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine." And the vice president says, "Jesus Christ," like that. And the president just goes like this, and he says, "Gentlemen, thank you. That'll be enough. I need to think about this." Well, later that afternoon, Margaret Thatcher, famously now, called him. He genuinely didn't know what to do.
And you're talking about Papa Bush.
Papa Bush. Yeah. And she said, "George, now's not the time to go wobbly." Next thing you know, we have 6 aircraft carrier battle groups on their way to the Gulf, 250,000 ground troops, and we liberated Kuwait, February 1991.
Wow.